Sit back and throw one back with your pinky in the air and a middle finger to the world, and join me, the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, as we look back on this day in pro wrestling history. But before we do, put that drink down, like, share, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get our wrestling history on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is June 29th, and we're going to start off as we always do on a positive note. That's right, these are your pro wrestling birthdays. 1942, catch wrestling legend Johnny Saint. 1948, Canada's own Leo Burke. 1985, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And last but not least, 1986, Serena Deeb. Of course, on the flip side of that coin, your pro wrestling deaths for June 29th. 1967, boxing and wrestling legend, Primo Canara. 2018, Matt Capitelli. Alright, enough of the sad stuff. It's time to get to the meat and potatoes. That's right, these are your pro wrestling history highlights for June 29th. A super short trip in the Wayback Machine today, as we start in 1973. Kim Sung-Hoo defeats Alfonso Dantes for the EMLL NWA Light Heavyweight title in Mexico City, Mexico. Leaping ahead 13 years to 1986. The AWA announces that since world champion Stan Hansen refused to wrestle Nick Bockwinkel in Denver, Colorado, Hansen was being stripped of the title and Bockwinkel was being named the new champion. In truth, Hansen had already been booked to defend the AWA world title on All Japan Pro Wrestling shows in July. When Hansen was told to drop the title beforehand, he refused since his loyalty was to All Japan and Giant Baba. And he knew that Baba was advertising a AWA title defense on the July tour. Hansen went to Japan, still in possession of the AWA title belt. Interesting side note, Nick Bockwinkel would take the mangled belt and actually pay to have it restored. 1987, World Class ran a tournament for the new Texas Tag Team titles. In the main event and tournament final, Skip Young and Tony Atlas defeated Ted Arcadia and a young Undertaker, Mark Calloway, as Texas Red. Jumping ahead into the 90s, 1992, Tom Pritchard defeats Brian Christopher for the USWA Southern Heavyweight title in Memphis, Tennessee, to win the title that had been vacated a week earlier when a match between the two ended in a no contest. This began Pritchard's fifth reign with the title. On the same show, Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett defeated the Moondogs, Spot and Spike, to win the USWA Tag Team titles. Fast forwarding 6 years to 1998, Steve Austin defeats Kane for the WWF World Heavyweight title in Cleveland, Ohio, ending Kane's reign after less than 24 hours. This begins Austin's second WWF title reign. And last but not least, 1999, the Hardy Boys defeat Farouk and Bradshaw for the WWF World Tag Team titles in Fayetteville, North Carolina. This was their first of an eventual 5 runs with the belts for Matt and Jeff. Those were your super short but sweet pro wrestling history highlights for June 29th. I'm the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, and we'll see you tomorrow.